I would hug a shark before I hugged a rat.
Oddly, I actually didn't mind watching this movie. Welcome to Kyle and Dave vs. the Machine, the Friday movie review version. That sounds right. This week...
That was the first time you tried it out, so that's great.
We'll see. The magic of editing. This week we're watching Willard. No, we've watched it. For you folks who have never heard of this film, it was remade with the iconic Crispin Glover.
Yeah, that is a word for him.
But this is a film about Kyle's favorite animal, the rat. Now, Kyle, tell us your feelings about rats.
They make me break out in a cold sweat because we live in Alberta, so there are no rats
no
here.
Rats
that is an actual thing. Check Wikipedia. I've only ever seen a rat in New York City when they scurry around the subway tracks, and I almost jumped into a train when I saw that for the first time. I have had to deal with mice my entire life. I had a mouse in my house last year. It was killed within a week, but after I saw it, I did not enter my living room, and this is true, for 18 months. That is how much I hate them. I can't stand them, do not like the sight of them, do not find them charming or adorable like some people do. I do not care if you kill them. I hate them. I hate them so much.
So tell me how you really feel.
I am Indiana Jones's father.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I like snakes because they kill
Connery had a
rats.
problem with rats. What did you think about The Last Crusade? We're getting way off topic, but could you handle The Last Crusade?
No, gross.
Great movie. How about the film, Kyle? Did you watch the film?
I can't say that I did because I mostly was watching it like this, slowly revealing things. The sound design, I will say, I don't know if we actually said this in the review. The sound design is actually pretty good because it is awful to hear them like munching and gnawing on doors and like squeaking and scurrying around and stuff like that. There's so many rats in this movie. If you just think of a lot of rats, just in your mind, picture a lot of rats, quadruple that. That is how many rats are in this movie.
So for Kyle, it was 4.
Yeah, there's this scene near the very end where there is this horde like running up the stairs like towards the camera. Nightmare fuel. Outside of that though, I actually think that this movie suffers from two things. I know that I'm irrationally afraid of these animals. So the horror for me, it works because I'm terrified the entire time these rats are in Scream. But the actual story that's being told, I think is so incredibly boring that it's kind of this whirlwind of terror, I don't care what's happening. Terror, this is boring. Why am I watching this? That's kind of the two modes I found myself in. We talk in our episode actually how I think this could be adapted into something I think a little bit more interesting. You can listen to the full episode for that conversation.
It's like therapy. Just get it all out, Kyle. Get it all out. We had a special guest, Andrew Scott from It's a Conspiracy Podcast, one of our patron supporters, also a member of the Alberta Podcast Network. We got to talk about this film. There was 540 something rats on set. That's a lot. The
stench that would have is off the page.
Oddly, I actually didn't mind watching this movie. And yes, we all agreed that the sort of setup and build-up's very drawn out. It's slow and boring and kind of stupid. But once the heists, we're spoiling things, once the heists of this broken young man, he's getting bullied, right? He's having a hard life. Ernest Borgnine's
being an asshole to him.
One more time. Shut up, Willard.
So then he decides one day when he finds the first rat, I don't even think that was Socrates, the first one.
No, it's a rando rat.
His crazy mom's like,
What's that in your pocket? There's something in your pocket.
go kill him, rats. And he's like, no, they're my friends. And he starts raising them. And then he starts squeaking at them because he can communicate with rats. And then he starts building this family at first. And it's really sweet. And he nuzzles them, right, Kyle? He like rubs them on his face. And he's like, oh, rats are the best. But when he gets pushed to the edge.
They constantly are pissing. That's the thing with rats and mice. They scent glands are constantly like excreting something. It's disgusting.
He gets this, not an attaché in his suitcase. And he fills them with rats and he starts performing heists. Unfortunately, we only get to see 2, but we get the sense of the horror. And that's when the movie actually starts turning into a horror film. So the first hour, you can cut it all out. And then as soon as he goes on the murderous rampage, it's like, oh shit, this is pretty scary. Rats can chew through anything. And he's got him chewing through shit to enact his revenge. And in the end, even I was getting a little squeamish because It's pretty crazy.
It's crazy in Willard. Again, there are so many rats in this movie. There are so many rats in this movie.
It's okay. It's over. If you're into horror, if you love rats, if you want to watch a movie that has spawned, I think Kyle was talking about how there was a sequel. There was also a lot of films that tried to take this formula and take advantage of it, because this was the 17th highest grossing film.
No, this was the 10th highest grossing film in North America.
In 1971. People love rats.
There was a point I was actually going to make in our episode, which I actually never came back to. There's the obvious kickoff that this has of like other animals in like groups movies, like locusts, tarantulas, and rabbits. But I actually wonder if this movie is kind of also responsible for Jaws, another movie with an animal who is coming to attack it. Because this is kind of the kickoff of that idea of animals coming and attacking people. So Willard is responsible for the number one box office movie of 1975, Jaws.
That's a stretch. I mean, there are monster movies that have pre-existed this. You got rats in your brain.
I would hug a shark before I hugged a rat. Let me just put it that way.
They're so fat. So yeah, anything else? I mean, people liked it. People watched it. I didn't mind it. I would have got actually a higher score if it was pieced together correctly in a narrative and a plot sense.
As much as I was terrified of it, I actually do think if you are a horror fan, you should probably give it a watch just to see what it sparks, see what people were watching back in 1971. And I think it does set up a lot of horror elements into the 1970s. Apparently, from contemporary reviews that I've read, everyone says like, the rats aren't scary. The rats aren't scary. And to that I say, there are so many rats in this movie. There are so many rats in this movie. It's awful. I hated it.
I was really energized this week. Finally, this movie was good enough that I think we also all agreed you could probably remake this.
Oh yeah.
Today.
I think you could easily remake this. And like we were saying, I think if you leaned a little bit more and quicker into the heist and how that starts to evolve him and then he goes homicidal afterwards, there's something to this. I will not watch that movie. I just want to be very clear. I would not go to the movie theater to watch this movie again or the remake of it, but it could work.
This is based on a book that's actually called Ratman's Diary. So as Kyle was bringing up, I think he wikied this, there's actually supposed to be more heists and more of an escalation to the crimes and to his madness and then ultimately to the big climax. So, you know, you get a taste of it. It's pretty good. Rentable, so you can find it. As we learned in the trailer, available on Blu-ray. So if you love rats.
If you want to
I
see
just
those
realized
rats
I
in
have
the
the
highest
perfect
definition
Christmas present for Kyle. The special edition Blu-ray. It comes with a model rat.
I would open that up
out of the case.
And it would be like, thank you, but no thanks.
Well, that's about it. I don't remember if there's anything else to talk about. Sandra Locke came back up. We talked about it with Clint.
Clint's kind of an asshole in that whole situation. But,
he seeds.
Gross. You know who also seeds? Ernest Borgnine, if you know what I mean. Check out the clip. It's linked probably to this video. So
Sandra Locke, she's working with Bruce Davison on set.
What's wrong with having sex? So judgmental over here.
Yeah, I like to shame. That's it. What are we watching next week?
We never see that in these videos, but we're watching The Devils. We're going to watch The Devils next week.
Gross. Yeah, stay tuned. We keep pumping these things out. What do we say? Subscribe to it. Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell us why this is the lowest form of content to make here on YouTube.
Well, we didn't react to a trailer. We're okay.
That's right.
If you really hate your rat, name it Walter Matthau. We're going to talk about haters. I don't know if we're going to link it. It got really personal. Walter Matthau is the rat of Hollywood.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a way to end this video. All right. I'm pushing stop.
Willard takes good care of them.